Our school, Briar Road Public School, is located in southwest Sydney, in Eds. Our school is a place where we've really tried to challenge the status quo in terms of providing the highest quality education and really thinking about ways we can innovatively teach our kids and I guess set the standard really high and expect students to succeed. So it's one of those places that regardless of being a low socioeconomic community or where you come from or what you have access to, we do our best to provide the most inclusive education possible, and it's a really nice place to learn. In about 2019, we were approached as part of a pilot program through the Aboriginal Got It program. The premise was that they were trialling it within a school in an area that had a higher proportion of Aboriginal students. It was a very successful program in terms of working with families closely, working with students, and really I guess working in partnership with each other to ensure that students had the skills that they needed to cope with the daily stresses of school and home as well. The families got a lot out of it too. And then we kind of thought, how can we implement this on a larger scale, and talked a bit about how it could look across the whole school from kindergarten year 6. And that's when the Second Step program kind of was first discussed. All in all, we found it's been very successful program, and we've made tweaks along the way. But in the year and a half kind of time frame that we've trialled it, the students have got a lot out of it. The teachers have given us great feedback in terms of just a really solid kind of, I guess, curriculum around social emotional learning, and a platform to kind of just have those discussions in the classroom. So a part of the premise of our social emotional learning was that it was going to tie in nicely with our PBL. We are a PBL school, and PBL really does drive just the core foundations of social emotional learning, and really setting students up for success in terms of expectations. We had a long think about how that could work and how that could link. Initially, we kind of taught it as a standalone kind of program, which would just support PBL. However, we found that when analysing the data, that we need to be a bit more responsive to the data, therefore be teaching students at the right kind of time in terms of where they were at. So upon reflection, we kind of tweaked that a little bit, and now currently we teach it in line with PBL. So PBL is the overarching kind of idea of the key foundations of how we teach our social emotional learning, and then the idea of the Second Step program is to support PBL as well. So all classrooms are involved in that. It's a whole school approach. It's definitely something that we're finding has improved the data in terms of negative entries for behaviour, and I guess for us the most important part has been the impact that it's had on students in terms of understanding their emotions and being able to then articulate their emotions to each other and to teachers. So that's something that traditionally we found a bit hard with students. They don't actually understand that it's okay to be upset, but there are different ways to kind of deal with that. So we found that the Second Step program alongside the PBL framework has really kind of strengthened that and enabled our students to articulate those types of things, which can be hard for let alone adults, but for students as well.
So hi, I'm Carly. I'm the PBL coordinator at Briar Road Public School. We've found the Second Step program to integrate really nicely with our PBL program. We use our data to drive our social skills and our social emotional learning. And we've found that the Second Step program supplements that really nicely, and we can make the links from our PBL focuses to the social emotional learning lessons in the Second Step program. So how we make that work is that we sit together as a PBL team, and then we go through what our focuses will be for the 5 weeks based on our data. We found our needs are social emotional driven, so we can always seem to find a lesson in the Second Step program that links to the students' needs and what they need to learn in regards to social emotional learning. So we as a PBL team look at our focuses for half of the term, so we sort of do it every 5 weeks, and from there we identify the links in the Second Step program that match to every stage within our school. So we have a kindergarten lesson, we have a stage 1, a stage 2 and a stage 3 lesson that all focuses on the same area of need. So the whole school is learning about the same thing at the same time, because that is what our data has told us that we need to work on at that point in time. I sort of find the whole thing really great because it gives us a starting point as well. Social emotional learning is such a huge area, and there's so many things that you could miss if you didn't have a program in place to tell you basically where to go. So we're still using our student need to drive what we're doing, but it's also telling us at the same time, these are the areas that we're missing, this is what we're lacking, and then we can implement that and supplement what our data is telling us with the program as well. One thing that we love about the Second Step program is that it teaches the kids some strategies to use both in the classroom, in the playground, and at home as well. So it builds that knowledge with them so that they can use it in all different contexts as well, those strategies that they're learning.
It's about understanding others' feelings and how they feel in certain situations. I sometimes get angry very easily, and if I know how to deal with it, then it'll be easier to deal with. Well, sometimes I just take a break from whatever I'm doing, or fidget with something, or just have a drink.
It's good because you can figure out other ways, and it helps a lot more because people, because everybody's different, they have their other ways of calming themselves down.
It did a lot for school engagement for us. Parents were able to feel that, okay, well, this school's authentic about taking a really keen interest in what's going on for my child, not just academically, but as a whole person. It also, I think, created a real sense of safety and trusting between us and home, and that's been something that's been sustained through the program. In terms of cultural adaptations at Briar Road Public School, we're a school that do a lot of work around how we are and work with Aboriginal families, and in particular Aboriginal students. We saw the Got It program and Second Steps as a space that we could create some cultural adaptations to make sure that our students could fully engage with the content. This included things like looking at a real connection through the program, making sure that students' identity was honoured, their cultural being, and protecting the space of cultural safety was really important to us. And so creating spaces where children could openly yarn and feel safe and secure gave us an opportunity to connect even on a deeper level with our families and our children.
With the social emotional learning, I like how you can say what you want and you can't get judged about it. So basically everyone can just show their emotions and there's no shame.
So once in class we were doing an art project. It was this year, and there was people around me talking, and I started getting frustrated, and I got really angry and yelled, and that I got in a lot of trouble. So I remember I asked Miss to take 5, and since then, now whenever I'm about to get angry, I always ask to go out, and she usually says yes.
Walking around the place, you'll hear conversations happening, everywhere across the school, and it's one of those. It's really nice because it's, although a teacher may not be the teacher of that student, everyone kind of knows everyone at this school, and I think we're really good at understanding every child as an individual, what makes them tick, what may trigger them, and really working with each other to ensure that we're all supporting each other in whatever kind of capacity we need to ensure that they're going to be coming to school every day and being ready to learn and being ready to take on whatever challenge may face them.